Hey there, everyone. I wanted to put together some more material about how to do long-term preparation for things. And so I put together this broadcast. I think I'm going to have to find another time, and I might pop up the intro a little bit more, but I'm not going to be able to do it at this time regularly. But I'm just kind of putting this out there, so if anyone kind of comes across it. At any time, it's just a resource for them. So, what I want to cover is the NFALD. I want this series to be all about the NFALD topic, and getting started, early in the season is, I think will help and be beneficial for a long term sort of, if you want to come back, even suggest what times are best and everything like that. But this series is going to be all about preparation for the NFA LD topic. This season, it is political campaigns, okay? But the topic for this first episode really doesn't even matter. I hope. Oh, you know what? My strength. I hope I'm not breaking up too much. Let me get my better. Okay, it looks okay. Looks okay. All right. So the topic doesn't matter for this one. This could be for any year. What I want to cover is a resource that is out there that I'm aware of, but seeing that I haven't had an NFA LD debater to coach for quite a while, I haven't really gotten any intimate sort of understanding or knowledge about it. So it's a research. So this episode, I'm probably going to be, stumbling through it just as much. I've already kind of done that, and I'm going to recreate what I did. And so I have like just the Google page up, just the home page up. And so if I was going to look up how to get to Caselist, the how I found it was I didn't even remember the name was Caselist. I always remember paperless debate, and so that's the search term that I put in there. And so there's been some changes since I knew it. Like I'm interested in learning more about this verbatim thing, but it's case lists, the open case list that I was remembering. And I don't remember having all of these. I think they're expanding. So like, good for you, whoever's running this. Right here, Aaron Hardy, like congratulations. I appreciate what you're doing. I hope that I'm going to present it in a way that is, fair for you. But just let me know. Take a look at this. And so like you could choose which one you're going for. We're going for NFALD, and I believe that there's a video on how to do this, but you have to get. So the weird thing is that you have to actually get in access into Caselist in order to see the video on how to use it. So here it is. So I'm already signed in, but the thing is that if you're, they now have a login portal, and you have to have an account with Tab Room, and I already had one. So if you're unfamiliar with Tab Room, we can do that on another episode. But for the purposes here, just it's easy to get that information, and then you could log in. Where I am right now is actually last season's. Well, not last season. It's 2 seasons ago. Wait, NFLD. Oh yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna not do. Oh, because we don't have last season. Okay. Anyway, so this is from a couple seasons ago. Just to show you what it is when you get into like when you actually sign in. This is kind of what it looks like. I highly recommend watching this. I haven't done that yet. I just kind of hopped on and so how to use open case list is also, I guess there's already one out there for you. I probably should have really watched that before I did this, now that I think about it. But I just, I like clicking around. Maybe you're kind of like me. So what you're seeing over on the left are all of the colleges that have participated in this particular season's topic. Okay. And so a nice big robust list right there. If you go into any one of the, oh no, let's take a look at Ithaca. They have the names. You can look up the if they have any rounds. Sometimes they don't. My alma mater here. Let's see. We got some. Yeah. And so then they have these, and you could download those documents. Now, and so I think there has been some standards that have been developed, some norms. I'm going to call them norms, not so much standards, but there are, there's formatting standards, but then there's these norms that I'm starting to see, and I could only guess as to the culture behind this, about how much information to share with your opponent, or on case lists in particular. That's what I'm focusing on, is on case list itself. If you open up some of these sources, what you're going to see is a number of pieces of evidence, and they look kind of like this. So I just copy and pasted this from one particular one. So in the 2 years ago, like drones were the topic, just shorthand for what the topic was. And so here's a pretty typical piece of evidence, right? Where maybe you're laying out the harms for drone strikes, and you want to just like get a number out there. And so the evidence is this first line right here, just so you know, is written by the debater. Okay, so this is like the claim that they are making. And then notice how everything that's in bold right there, that's what they're saying. But the information on these are called cards, if you're unfamiliar with that. I'm kind of coming from the position that this is like a very beginning. If you're watching this, you're just kind of getting started, or you're interested, in reviewing some of the very basics of debate. Okay, so like I don't want to assume that you know things that you don't. So like each one of these would be considered a card. All right, and you could tell a card these days by that they have a bold claim, and not just figuratively. Literally, the formatting is in bold, and it is the claim for your argument. Okay, and so that would be one card. And just a little bit of history. Cards are called cards because they were literally cut and pasted onto index cards. And so before we had all, just the infinite amount of information at our fingertips, you had to really manage your information physically in tubs of information. So, all right. So this is a claim that they're making, right? And so and then they have the author. And so what they're saying, they'll say the author's last name and the year that it was published. They'll literally say, drone strikes kill civilians and fail to accomplish their goals. Capadia, 2019. I hope I said that right. Capadia, and it could be doing the wrong emphasis. So if anyone, has some suggestions on that, go ahead and throw it in the comments. All right. But what I'm noticing though, as a norm in the cutting of cards, is that they have just two lines. So it used to be, what I normally saw was that they would have long excerpts that they would copy and paste and put in there, and they would just read off of it, and they would do the same bolding format about what they're going to read. They would bold and underline it. So what I'm guessing, and let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing they still have that, but those are like private files, and then these are the public files. And so what I'm guessing is that people don't want to give away too much of their research, because it's hard. Research is hard. And the thing is, though, that I got some philosophical reservations about that assumption. I think what they're doing is just, they're still sharing information, right? But I think that this information would be good to share in a, maybe in an organized way. I'll grant you that, not just this free for all, but sharing this information to have a more public facing thing. I think I definitely want of that philosophy. Okay, I don't want to undermine people's strategies. I don't want to undermine their, things like that. But there has to be a balance between how much information we share publicly and how much we keep private. I think that there are some ethical things that I would love to discuss in further length. Okay, so maybe that would be like a theory thing about how much to share. So here we go. So now, what do you do if you come across this, right? So if you're just like doing your own research and you're trying to like just get a basic understanding of the topic, and you want to do that by looking at other people's research, this doesn't give you a whole lot of information, right? Well, one thing that I think is a nice little side effect of this sort of reserving information is that it does force people to actually do the research. So that's a good counterpoint. So you look at this, you have everything that you need right here, right? Or you should. It should be a complete source citation. And so right here now, this seems a little bit sloppy on the formatting. Like I'm going to coach having a bit more sort of formality, like we'll just follow like MLA or something like that. Okay. And so, but this bracket right here I don't understand why that's there or why it's on a new line. And I mean, I think that like following a standard type of citation formatting makes a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know why they do it this way, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that's the title that they are citing from, and it's page 70, on it there. And so that is good. And so I went and checked out that, so what I do is I just go back to like a Google homepage and I look up that book. And so let me see here. Let me just go back one. Yeah. Oh, no. Don't want that. Okay. So I looked it up and I found that there is this place that had the what I actually did was I didn't just look that up. I copied the quote from it because I want that section, right? I want to see what they say. So I think I skipped this. In the actual quotation part, or where you're supposed to actually have the excerpt, they do the line that they start with and the line that they end with. That's what you're seeing. And so this word "and" right here kind of metaphorically represents a whole section. You don't know if it's a paragraph. You don't know if it is a chapter's worth of information. That's an interesting sort of rhetorical implication, having that one word represent so much. I think that's fascinating to me. All right. So that's what it is. I want to know. So if you're doing research, this is one of those tools that can actually help you get familiar with what people are citing, right? And this is where my position comes in, is that we want to foster good debate, okay? And having one side that is just exponentially more informed than the other doesn't create that good debate. We have to be relatively on the same horizon when a debate starts. If there is a massive sort of disparity in power between those two, I think like I have ethical issues with that, right? And so information in debate is power. And so withholding that is kind of, trying to dominate somebody rather than having an equitable discussion about really important issues. Okay. So there has to be a balance. I still appreciate the drive to win and to succeed and to be recognized by that, by your peers. Like I get that, but there's got to be some sort of balance. It can't just be running away one way or the other. Okay. So, but this one does have enough to look up what they said. I looked it up here. I'm able to, I created my own account here. So now I feel kind of obligated to submit my own work, and we will. All right. So that's what we're going to do. But I was able to get the first chapter right here. Look at that. Insert. There it is. Right. Like we started from here and was able to find it. Boom. Now, listen, if you're in college, you got universities, and you go and check out and see if they have the book in hard copy or in their database in order for you to do it. But I'm just doing this like through like publicly accessible channels, right? Not even paid channels yet. And so, yeah, you can find that stuff and take a look. I want to find this particular excerpt, right? So I look for, look at this, disquieting. That's a word that, boom, let's do this. Boom, the double tap, boom. See that? Disquieting is a fairly unique word, isn't used all that often. And so I just do Command F on a Mac or Control F on a PC, and it pops up a finder. All right. So what you can't see is this little pop-up window where I type in the word disquieting after I do that, and it just takes me to it. And take a look at that. Like that is what they're quoting, right? That's what they're quoting. Hold on, let's take a look. Oh, page 70. Like you could just do that. Duh. I mean, that's the reason that put that in there. But this one I think was a little bit faster. So and it looks like, and so let's take a look if we can't find what the last line is, right? Militarized cartographies, North Africa, Middle East, South Asia. Boom. Yeah, it looks like just this one. So here's what is being quoted. Oh, I want to get rid of that. There you go. Okay. Now, now what you could do is actually compare this entire section to their claim. Drone strikes kill civilians and fail to accomplish their goals. Does it say that? Scientific, there's almost a messianic belief that deadly force can be applied, the impression cleaner. Let's take a look at that. Kill civilians, fail to accomplish their goals. Let's take a look in there for the word goals. Anything but precise. That implies that it kills civilians. I think it's like clearly implies that. For instance, found that 1 in 50 victims of surgical strikes were known militant. Only 1 in 50 victims were surgical strikes. Oh, there you go. There's like a quantification. You don't always get that. And it has a little source citation, number 127. You can go check that out. I want you to get used to like looking for these little things, all right, that you want to like double check. Because now what I'm seeing is that this source is actually a secondary source. The whatever number 127 is, looks like it might be the primary source that you want to go for. The New York legal experts at Stanford University and New York University. So like that might be the thing I'm actually quoting in this one. Now, what does that, you know, that'll just help you get your sort of research base together. All right. And so, okay. U.S. enemy targets are instead racialized. Okay, I thought it said radicalized at first, but that might just be my poor reading skills. Okay, so like what I'm trying to see is they might be taking a little bit of liberty. They failed to accomplish their goals. If you do a close reading of that, I'm still wondering what section of this paragraph supports that part of the claim that they failed to accomplish their goals. I mean, if like you could have a really horrible view that, oh no, they're accomplishing their goals. There's also disadvantages on top of that solvency, right? And I don't know if that really gets you anywhere in debate, but you know, I think it's a good thinking exercise to have those discussions. Like you can still come to like good, rational, ethical conclusions and say, oh no, that's not a good idea. But you have to contemplate it for a second, right? I mean, it does open it. Okay. And so now you have that, and you can read beyond it if you want. Like reading the entire chapter, I think is also a good way to develop your base. But it does, you know, at the very least, like once I do that, I'm like, oh, now I have a cross-examination question to ask them. And like, oh, so what goals did they fail to accomplish? What were their goals? And like they could have a really good answer and still it doesn't really affect the debate so much, but it just kind of calls into question the claim in the first place. All right, so that's how like case you can use open case list. All right, in general. And if you go to this year right now, yeah, there's you can see that the list of schools is much shorter on that one. And I was kind of clicking through it, and there's nothing up yet because it's so early in the season. All right, but I'm expecting to put my own the school that I work at, Santiago Canyon College. I'm hoping to put one up in there as well. But I really do appreciate when people put up good research so we can, you know, build off of it. We don't have a massive team. I think it's really good for schools that don't have a massive debate squad. There's some of them that have just, you know, like really smart, like Western Kentucky, just dominating in this debate format. And so I appreciate the stuff that they put up in order to, and going to use it. We're going to, sort of try to grow off of it and everything. And so should you. Just remember, you got to get a tab room account in order to do it. And you have to, like, it's just the beginning of research. It helps you find stuff, and then you have to still do the strategizing on how you're going to respond to it, and how you are going to find the research that supports the arguments that you want to make in response to it. All right. So it's not, I don't think that you get like that much of an advantage from, like scouring the online case list. But it does, I think it's like it's more of a floor than a ceiling is what I'm trying to get at, is that you want to do, at least you want to be familiar with what people are saying. And then you have to go above and beyond that, and you have to compose your own strategies and arguments and cases and stuff like that. And that makes people that have to react to it, have to find the research and respond to it as well. All right. Hey, if this was helpful, let me know. Okay. If you liked it, I'm going to be doing more of this. So you might want to, set up some notification for when this happens. All right. I'll try to find a regular time to hold this probably every week. All right. All right, everyone. So I don't even have an outro, so I'm just going to play the intro again. I'll see you later, everyone.